The yoga philosophy starts with the word and now. And now yoga. Yoga exists now and not earlier or not after. So if a person wants to understand, he needs to have that kind of an absolute focus to be in the present. When you hear something, your mind will be jumping into the past to collect information from the past, to compare, to comprehend what the other one is saying. But yogic understanding is totally different. Patanjali started the book with the word Atha Yoga Anushasana. And now the science of yoga, the treatise of yoga. That's the first sutra. It shows the significance of now. If our mind is not free, we cannot enter into yoga. So how to make the mind free is what he describes in the second chapter of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. So, and now, mostly what happens to us, we are a conglomeration of thoughts and experiences, all hidden in the memory. That is the sum total of our mind. So far all these things are dumped in the mind. We are working on the basis of the past because everything is there stored in the memory in the past, and then we pick and choose things from that in the form of thought, and then we try to execute it in an action plan. We enter into an action plan, we try to execute it, and then from the execution we understand something about it. So we create some knowledge. When you create some knowledge, you modify it into some concepts, beliefs or ideas. And you hold on the concepts, beliefs and ideas and you try to live that. And somebody comes and challenges your knowledge. Somebody comes and challenges your beliefs. Somebody comes and challenges your concepts. Then you understand how settled you are. This is a constant process. In the domestic situation, there is a lot of challenges that happens. Every time when you are facing a challenge, it means that it is challenging to your concept or belief or some idea. And then we get very shaky. At that time, the Shirshasana which you were practicing in the morning for 2 hours is not helping you at all. You are shattered, totally gone. So it is a long process that leads a person to reach a state of settlement of your mind. And that is proposed by Patanjali. And it comes from the past. All our knowledge comes from the past. And if you are going with the past, you will not reach the state of yoga. So come to the present. I will talk to you about the treatise of yoga. And now, the treatise of yoga. So, to find out the now, that is a best exploration in yoga. How can you find now? The psychological time and the base of the psychological time. Now is the base of the psychological time. When you are in the deathbed of your near and dear one, if it so happens, the time never goes. The night will be a Kalaratri, he used to say, never finishes. When you are highly celebrating and great time, that night goes very fast. So psychological time is not the same. It is not the same time at all. It depends upon your mood. So how can we find out what is this present, which is now, according to Master Patanjali? How to find out that? What is this now? For practitioners, the now is the moment of inception of a thought. The moment of inception of a thought. Thought comes from the memory. Thought comes from the memory. So something triggers in the memory that a thought surfaces. And that happens in a split of a second. Just it comes. That's the moment. That's the very present. If you have the alertness to stay with the present, the thought stays there. It won't move. It cannot move. because you're not supporting, you're not moving towards the future. The alertness of the person keeps the person in the very present. The alertness to see the moment of inception of a thought. Can you imagine of the alertness that a person requires for getting into the state of yoga? It is not just standing upside down. There are innumerable schools of yoga that do this practice, which is very good to keep your body in a good condition. But that is not the end of yoga. Yoga is like a big, what you call, iceberg. On the top you see the asana, and that is believed as the whole iceberg. It is not like that. So one has to intensely observe the mind and see the very inception of the thought, and there you have to stay. Then you will understand the relationship between thought and time. Am I getting too complicated? So, this is very important for the yogic practitioners who start to learn yoga, to live in the present moment, having a great alertness to watch the mind and see the moment at which a thought is popping up. If you skip that moment, you lost the time of living. Our life proceeds moment after moment after moment. The life never happens in the past, it never happens in the future. It only happens now. All the actions that we are doing coming from thoughts. No action is possible without the support of a thought. Though thought is coming from the memory, which is the retention of the past, as soon as it pops up, it is a present moment. That's the only present. Masters ask you to live the present. Patanjali, starting his Yoga Sutra with this dialogue. The dialogue is Atha Yoga Anushasana. And now the treatise of yoga. Can you imagine the alertness that is required to get there, to get to the psychological time and find the root of it, the present, and understand the connection between thought and time, and disconnect the connection between thought and time, that you are free. You understand? It's a great thing. It is very small when you have the alertness. When you are not having the alertness, you are ignorant. You live an ignorant life going along with the thought and its action and its consequences and all the complications of it and sorrow which is produced by your own thinking, and accuse the rest of the world as the cause of your suffering. So if we want to get out of our suffering, there is no other way. Look inside. This is so important. Unless you look inside, you will not see the time. The inception of a time. Time moves moment after moment after moment. If you are not alert, you don't see the time, which is getting connected with the thought process. If you see the time, it gets disconnected with the thought, that the thought cannot move to the future. Thereby, you will be freed from your thoughts. Patanjali defined yoga as Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Stopping the activities of the mind is yoga. So it is very, very important to have that base alertness. Alertness means mind is emptied from the rest of things when you are focusing on something. That is called focus. If you are hearing something or looking something, go on thinking to understand, you are not there, you are in the past meddling with something else. All our understanding is based on this kind of comparison and judgment. Our understanding goes in this way. But yogic understanding is not following this trodden path of knowing by analysis and synthesis. It is a completely different knowledge that whatever presented before you, you relaxingly focus, that's all. No analysis, no synthesis. Thereby, as there is no activity goes on in your mind, you become closer and closer to the object that is presented before you. It can be an object, it can be an idea, it can be a thought, it can be a mantra, it can be silence, or it can be anything that you want to comprehend. This idea. Yoga gives you all the freedom. That's why it's not confined in the small limitation of religions.